Hey Truth Seekers, how you doing? It's Phineas. Hope you're doing well today. What I want to talk to you today about is something which you probably know about, and I hope I'm not going to bore too many people with this subject because a lot of my subscribers, even though I haven't got a lot, already do this, and so bear with me. And even if you don't, even if you do know about it, it might be an opportunity to revisit the importance of what I'm going to talk about. So what I'm going to talk to you today about is hair mineral analysis. I did a video a couple of years ago about this and it was pretty crap, so I decided to do another one. Deleted that video, woo! And I'm doing a new one. So yeah, I've got a little kit here. I'm going to talk to you about that later, about that side of it, what you need to do. But really, it's so confusing out there at the moment. There is so many tests, both medical and alternative, but the medical world will tell you what you need, but the alternative medicine world, unless you go to a nutritionist, is very much open to what you can do. There's blood analysis, there's cell analysis, there's skin analysis, there's nail analysis, there's hair analysis, there's candida testing, there's stomach testing, there's energy testing all around the body, and it's like I think there's loads of value in most of those tests, but it's going to get expensive if you carry on testing yourself. And as much as it's useful to find out different, I suppose, workings of your body, and if you have something present like a parasite or candida, that's useful, but I don't know, it doesn't really, it's a bit of a shotgun test. And so it's just telling you about that one thing. So when I came across hair mineral analysis, I really was at the end of my tether. I'd been to doctors, nutritionists, and eventually I went to a lady who suggested a hair mineral analysis. And I was like, well, what have I got to lose? It doesn't sound like it's very, well, it sounds interesting, but I didn't really have much faith in what she was telling me about it. So I decided to do one, and it was with a lab called Trace Elements, and the nutritionist that I used didn't understand it. She just gave it to me and went, oh, your calcium looks a bit high, oh, your magnesium looks a bit low, so maybe eat a bit of cheese and, you know, more nuts. I'm like, yeah, that isn't really... I was kind of reading this report, and it was like telling me to take 20 supplements a day, and I'm like, what a scam. I was like, what a scam. Telling me everything that's wrong with me, then trying to sell me 20 supplements. I thought that should be illegal. That's like the pharmaceutical companies designing the doctors' training modules and then introducing the doctors to the drugs that are perfect for that condition. That's illegal. I thought it was a bit like that. So, but I kind of read the report and I was like, kind of sounds a bit like me, actually, the deficiencies and the personality traits and that sort of thing. So I decided to go to America, and I emailed a guy there who was called Dr. Lawrence Wilson, and he seemed to know his onions about hair mineral analysis. So I then got his advice, and I never looked back. Now, what I understand about hair analysis, and this is why I do it, which is why I do it for people, is because it's the most cost-effective test for telling you so many things about your body, and your energy system, and your nervous system, and your cells, and your toxicity, and your deficiency, and your digestion, stage of stress you're at, personality trait. There is not a test other than this test which can tell you all of those things. It's incredible. But it's quite complicated. That's the other thing. I think it's easy to read these reports sometimes and take them on face value and think to yourself, well, yeah, I can understand it. I'm reading it and the report is telling me what's wrong with me. That's fine because you've got a lab report. But if you don't have a good practitioner to analyse it, and Wilson's the best in the world, Dr. Wilson. I know he's a bit funky. I know he's a bit outward. I know he's a bit wayward. And if you read his articles online, they're sometimes quite political, but you can't take away from the fact that he is the leading consultant in the world for hair mineral analysis, which is why I still work with him, because I trust him explicitly with the supplement programs that he gives. And the ones the lab gives are kind of okay, but not as good as he gives. He'll add things onto it. So, is hair mineral analysis a fad? I've dealt with some labs that are. I think they're well-meaning, but they're useless, the lab results. But there are some which are great. I mean, ARL is good, even though they're highly frustrating as a company. And the supplements are a bit erratic in delivery and stuff like that. I mean, well, we're in England, so they have trouble getting in here. Trace elements are good, but I don't think the supplements are as good. And there are others like Canal in Canada which are good, but they need to pull their socks up regarding their analysis of the report. But there are some hair analysis, like when I tell my friends that I offer hair analysis to friends and clients and that sort of thing, people say, "Oh yeah, well can that tell me if I'm allergic to something?" I'm like, well, that's not what I do. I don't do the energy testing of the hair, like tell you if you're allergic to garlic or onion or grain or. That's energy testing. That's almost kinesiology. That's kind of energy testing your hair, and it's a bit voodoo. I'm sure it works because I'm a bit voodoo. But that's not what I do. I've looked at one of those tests before, and I just think there's too broad. For allergy testing, you kind of could do a food diary, so it's not the same. What we do, what ARL does, and the ones that I use, tell you all about your body chemistry. They tell you all about your ratios, your minerals, your toxicities, but in great detail. But the advantage of Dr. Wilson is the amount of research he's done is he can actually tell you what kind of personality you are, which is really helpful and really useful and actually very reaffirming that he knows what he's talking about. But often again, it's quite complex, and so over time more patterns will be revealed about your deeper imbalances, and so you can't just do one test and then that be it. And I know it sounds like a sales scam, but it's true. You need to retest 4 months later, and you need to get supplements changed. But you can't stay on the same hair test for 1, 2, 3 years. It's no good doing one. Once you start healing, your body will show a further imbalance, a deeper imbalance, something that needs to be addressed deeper. And more toxins will come out, or there'll be less minerals because your crutch has gone on, because toxins have left your cells. And if that all sounds complicated, don't let it be, because it's as simple as we can, give you the analysis and tell you the main problems with it. So is it a fad? I think some labs aren't very good, but I think ARL trace elements are very real and one of the best tests you can do for your health. I think there's many ways to heal, but I think there's only a few ways to track it. And, we see a lot of toxins, copper, manganese, iron, come out in the cells when we retest hair analysis. I've spoken to some colleagues who say, well, I don't see any other way of healing apart from hair analysis and nutritional balancing. Well, I think that's not true. I think many people heal on deep levels, just that they don't use the hair analysis to track it. So I'm sure copper, manganese and iron comes out of those people in the end, when they're doing other detoxes, other diets, other spiritual work. It's just that we don't see it. They don't see it. We have the benefit of seeing it. A downside to it all is it does cost money, obviously. I'd love to do it for free. And if Bitcoin becomes worth £1 million at some point, then I might start doing it for free for people. But yeah, it's going to cost you money to do the hair analysis, to get someone's advice and to buy the supplements. Another downside I find to it is that people can get a bit obsessed with it because they know it's right and they know it's real and they know it works, and so they'll hang on every hair test and every little change. And man, if you're going to do it and forget about it. Don't worry about your next hair test. We'll remind you, and just eat, do your diet, do whatever you do. You don't even have to take my advice or Wilson's advice. Go and do your own thing and check your hair analysis. Go and do shamanic retreats. Go and eat a load of raw vegetables, which we don't advise. But if you think that's what you want to do it and come and check, and we'll tell you if it's working. It's one of the only ways I'm ever going to track myself, but I don't get obsessed with it. I mean, I'm quite interested in my hair test this time because I think I've been detoxing loads, more than I've ever done, due to spiritual work, actually, and getting rid of deep layers of crap in my system that I didn't know were there. So that'll be interesting. But yeah, guys, if you're going to do any test with nutritional or alternative medicine, hair analysis really is the one that tells you the most and is cost effective. It's only 120 quid to get a test and tells you all that. So here, if you're in America, ARL, I'd highly recommend the practitioner Nikki Moses in America. She's amazing. In England here, you've got myself that does it. I'm like the granddad of the circuit. You've got Lewis Rowlands, who's 20 years younger than me. Actually, maybe not 20, 15, I think. He's really good. Maybe suited to a younger kind of generation. So yeah, but you can just buy tests off us if you want, or you can do nutritional balancing, whatever. But don't take it too seriously. It's there to try and make you better, and it's really interesting. And for anyone that calls it a fad, you don't know what you're on about. And so you've probably got an imbalance if you're calling it a fad. So maybe you should get a test done. Okay, guys, that's it for today. If you like my videos, please subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, then do so. I've got loads of cool stuff coming up. And I will speak to you soon. Have a great day. I'm going to. Cheers, guys. Mwah.